What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You're feeling Let's Play Crash Bandicoot Part 5. We are now beginning the High Road, which is the bridge that gaps the Cortex's power plant to the rest of his island, and a second bridge level. So, anyways, here we go. So now, if you right here at the start, if you notice, I just stepped. You got these two planks to appear out of the air. What you have to do is you have to jump. You just keep jumping. You will continue to make planks appear, where there will be 4 boxes back here that are hidden that you definitely want to come back and get. Because it would stink if you didn't get them, and you had to do the entire level over again. That would definitely be very bad. But anyway, so enemy-wise, it's just the hog and the turtles, but the turtles play a bigger role here. Unlike the road to nowhere, you'll actually jump on turtles a lot more often to have them and have them help you get across. You can see through this section. You could probably make a lot of this by yourself. That last jump, probably not, but it's, the turtles there, you might as well use them. You can use the rope trick if you want to. I, however, never have thought that is a very good strategy, so I don't, and I won't. Oh, crap. Damn it. Well, at least I can go ahead and show off the rope. There you go. You can run across. Just have to be careful, because you saw as I did kind of fall there, and now this is the problem. Now what do you do? And of course, I could have just jumped off and got into those lighter colored planks, but what if you couldn't? What if you didn't have that kind of step off area there to be able to use? You just that's why I don't think the ropes are a very good strategy. But if I'm sure there are people that can make it work for them. But as I said, you do miss a lot of the sections of the bridge that have things on them, so you do want to be careful about that. But anyway, so, and then as I didn't talk about this before in Road to Nowhere, but once you jump over the pigs, they do disappear and you will not see them again. So that is always useful. You don't have to worry about them coming up behind you and ramming you. Just as soon as you pass them, they will disappear. Yes, that's always useful, as I said. Now, if you do happen to get one of these turtles a little bit too far away from where you want to jump, all you have to do is just step away from them, don't spin them, and then they will pop back out of their shell, and then then you can just wait for them to get back into position. Now, you definitely want to use Crash's Shadow here. The higher you go in the air, the smaller it gets, but you can still see it pretty easily, especially with the clouds here or the mist. Doesn't make it too difficult to see, and you can still see Cortex's Island there at the top left of the screen there. But it doesn't look to be too much closer than it did in Road to Nowhere, which I always thought was odd. They have so many sections where you can see Cortex Island or the other islands, and as you progress through the island, always it will get closer. But you may be able to just see more of it. I don't know for sure. Okay, now you want to be careful here because there's a box right on top of the TNT there, and if you don't actually hit it before the TNT goes off, you will not be able to make it. So you definitely want to be very careful there. And this is where the section where the turtles will get to be pretty difficult. If you do happen to knock those broken planks away, the turtles will not fall, so you don't have to worry about that. You can continue to jump on them for as long as you want to. And you can see the difficulties here. I will try to go after all those boxes on the bottom, though. All I have to do is just clear the top boxes up here first, and then just break the boxes in a strategic pattern so that you can get back across. You do actually gain quite a few lives from them. Obviously, you won't be able to break that bouncy arrow crate, but it's there's not a whole lot you can do about that. But anyway, so not too difficult. All you have to do is just make sure you break all the boxes on top, and then just break them in a pattern so that you can jump across. That's not the only pattern that you can do the way that I did it, but that's just the way that I always do it, and it seems to work for me. But anyway, so as you can see, these turtles are in the middle of these planks anyway, so they're obviously not going to fall if you do happen to break the planks away. But I still suggest being careful. But anyway, so that's it. That's all the boxes. We don't need a color gem here, thankfully, and there's nothing on the other side of this end portal. And that's it. It's actually a lot easier, or at least in my opinion, it's a lot easier than Road to Nowhere, just because in Road to Nowhere there are actually 2 colored gem routes or paths, and while neither of them are really that difficult, I just find that Road to Nowhere is a lot, or the high road is a lot easier. But now we are going on to Slippery Climb. Most definitely the arguably the hardest level in the entire game. I guess as you could say, Toxic Waste would be one, Sunset Vista, and then this level. Now, the rain does not play a factor on these platforms, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just something for the background. Now, that is an Evil Hand. That is one of the few enemies that you'll see. There's not too many enemies here. It's more just the jumping and the constant fear that the player has that makes this level so difficult. And of course those spikes, those purple spikes that look like they have electricity running on them. If you do hit them, however, you won't get electrocuted. All you'll do is just you'll just die. Really, I guess I got stuck on the top of that thing. That's what you have to do. You have to jump into it. Now, if you do get caught on the brown steps, that's about the only time the water will play, or they're just slippery and you'll slide off. Similar to the green sliding platforms in the gate levels back in Insanity Island. But, that's about it. But anyway, so hopefully I won't die too often. It's okay, because this section is just kind of starting. It's just a starter section. It gets you used to all of the crap that is this level. Now this is, timing is kind of similar to the section in Sunset Vista, except Sunset Vista is a lot easier. This is another Brio bonus round. This may be the last Brio bonus round. I don't remember. I lost track of the bonus rounds. I'm pretty sure there is one more, though. Those are just big birds. That's actually what they're called. They don't do anything. They cannot hurt you, because the only thing you can do is just jump on them, and you don't take damage by jumping on the enemies unless they have some sort of protection. But in this game, they don't. You'll see that in later Crash games. Now, you want to be careful through this section because of the because of the sliding stairs there that you can land on the spikes at the bottom. You do have to be very careful. Timing is definitely key through this section. Most definitely, you have to time it so that you jump right as the stairs open, and that you don't fall. You want to be careful here because those go pretty fast. You can't relax at all going onto those little platforms that come in and out of the wall. You cannot relax at all. You have to just keep moving, keep going as fast as possible. But anyway, so we're about at the halfway point of the level, and we still got quite a ways to go, sadly. It's definitely very difficult. This is another new type of platform that we will see later on in this level that gets used in a pretty BS way. And you can hear something different. This is the first time we've actually seen lab assistants or any sort of human type figure. Now, it doesn't say it in this game, but those are actually just androids. They're not actually humans, so you don't have to worry about that, and it keeps it a kids to adults, or a rated E for everyone game. It was actually kids to adults back in 1996, which is when this game came out. They didn't have I guess that was when the E rating or rank started to come out, but it wasn't widely used. In this game, it doesn't have really any violence So that's why they were able to, or that's why I guess the ESRB wanted to rate it the way they did. But anyway, so oh yeah, this one. You have to be careful because that TNT, you don't want to obviously don't want to blow yourself up by jumping onto it, but you have to be fast. All you have to do is just spin on these metal bouncy arrow crates to not jump on them anymore. And through here, you definitely want to be very fast. This one is actually a lot easier than even the first bonus round. It's so much easier. And it's a great way, if you can get through Slippery Climb, you don't have a problem with Slippery Climb. This is actually a pretty good level to be able to gain a few lives on, or a bonus round. I won't say the level. Level's actually pretty good at wasting lives and promoting gaining lives, but I would say that probably the easiest would be Heavy Machinery, just because you don't have to deal with any BS in it. So you can see here one of those new type of platforms, and you just have to kind of just jump right as the platform starts to, you can kind of tell it kind of swings around, or the art kind of gets a little bit weird as you go into it. Right before it goes down, and you just have to time it. It's a lot of trial and error. I mean, it took me years before I could figure out how to get that just right, so that I could almost every time tell right when I needed to fall. Now this is the pink, or I guess it is pink, or I guess watermelon color gem. That's not actually a color; it's just the pink gem. So that we can go back and do the great, Native Fortress, but obviously I'm not going to do that right now, as I've said before. And this will actually be a stretch where the 5th level will not be the boss level. The 5th level will be another machinery level, so that I'll just warn you ahead of time. It's kind of a little early because I still have to do there's another level in between Castle Machinery and this one, and that one is kind of difficult, so I may have to redo that one a couple times. I usually do. I never actually had a successful run through that level in quite a while, where I was able only to do the level in one go, of course. Now if you notice, the masks are used as lights. The light will die out after a while, and if you do lose the mask, you will lose the light, so you definitely want to be very careful about that. But if you do come into the level with a mask, it will count as 2 masks. But if you gain 2 masks in the level normally, it won't. You'll just, you can see the feathers are still colored, the blue, yellow, red, and purple, like the normal one-hit mask is. And kind of, you can see there on the box, it has an extra feather there, but I won't bash Naughty Dog for that, the console limitations and all that. But anyway, so yeah, you just have to keep lighting. You cannot gain them on your face, just because you cannot gain 2 masks, even if you come through the level and you have 2 masks. You still cannot gain a mask on your face, which would definitely be very helpful. Sadly, you can't. These are just called rats. And you definitely want to be careful about that, spinning into enemies, because they will sometimes hit boxes, or hit mask boxes that are far away. Sometimes that's useful. A lot of the times that's not. So you definitely want to be very careful. I would suggest just jumping on a lot of the enemies through this level if you can. If you notice, there's kind of like a yellow dot there. We have to come through here or we have to get a color gem to be able to get this level. So I won't sadly I won't be able to get the gem here, but I will be able to talk about I will talk about the trivia for this level and all that, just because this is a complete level. And oh crap, really? I hate this. You can still kind of see the silhouette of the blade there, and that kind of just tells you where the hole is. There is actually a hole there, and you only miss 3 boxes along the gym route, but it definitely cuts out that last section if you take the gym route, and it makes it a lot more easier and a lot more fun. The lights out level, a lot more fun if you don't have to worry about that final section. But here we go, Jaws of Darkness, the harder of the 2 dark temple crypt-like levels. This is where the second Cortex bonus round is, so we will get the second key here. And there is actually a section that I will point out later on in the level that you have to be careful. Because you can actually mess up and not get the Cortex token immediately. Or if you do what I'm going to say that you shouldn't do. This, thankfully, is not that section yet. But you do have to be careful and watch out for it, because it does involve a snake and spinning it into a bunch of TNTs. And in this game, TNT crates will blow up any other crates around it, and you will not be able to gain whatever was inside of those crates. So you definitely want to be very careful whenever dealing with TNT around other boxes, especially in a section with valuable boxes, like in Jungle Jungle Rollers, that section with the Brio bonus, the Brio token, in the section of about 5 TNTs, all kind of in a little clump there. You definitely, that's a section in this snake section that is coming up here. It's actually not too far away. This level is actually pretty long. And I think we need the color gem here as well. Oh, okay, I guess we already have, we have the right color gem for this level, so we'll actually be able to go along a gym route here. And you can see more of these spinning pillars that, okay, this is the snake section. You want to be very careful through here. You can actually jump on its head, but that will kind of send it into the boxes if you're not careful. You have to kind of come in at it at an angle like I did. You can either do the top angle or the bottom angle. I like to, okay, that's not the section. You don't have to actually go along that in between those boxes there. All you have to do is just get up, go through this gym route, and then you can get across here. Taking the gym here, it doesn't really matter, whether you do it now or later, but you get to see a fireworks show. You cannot, in this game, you can't gain another mask if you have a mask on your face, which would be, in other Crash games, recharging the mask. Sadly, all you get is just those bunch of sparkles. And if you do run into a mask box with the mask on your face, you will actually break it. So you do want to be careful. Through there, it doesn't really matter because you really don't need it through this section. And I would suggest not using it just because it speeds your movement up and your jumping movement up too much. So you do definitely want to be very careful. There's a box up on top of here, so you just want to be careful. Anytime you have a section like that where there's a metal crate on top of something, it's always a good idea to check just to make sure that you're not going to miss a life. Now that life there, you would not be able to get unless you jump on to those boxes. And if you look back here, all that is just that last section that I was in before going into the gym route. The gym route is actually very long and out of the way. It's almost not, I wouldn't say it's not worth it to go along there, but it is definitely out of the way. And if you didn't have to, for just like going after the gym or whatever, I would definitely suggest not doing so. And this is the section. Okay, now see, this stinks because I don't have a mask here, and I could very easily take damage and die. Okay, let me think. You can swing around it, but you usually have to have a mask because you'll take damage if you swing around it. And if you jump on its head, okay, let me see. Okay, sometimes you'll you'll end up taking damage from the snake. There's nothing up there, so you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is just make sure that you get that Cortex token there. Sometimes you'll take damage from the snake, and it'll send the snake into the. If you try to jump on its head, it will send it into the boxes there. So you want to be careful. Run along here to gain some secret platforms, and you'll be able to get the third Cortex token here. I don't believe there's a ton of bonus round in this level. If I'm not mistaken, there shouldn't be. Now this one is definitely a lot harder than its predecessor, just because of the bouncing on the TNTs, and you have so few boxes. Now you can jump. Oh, crap! Oh wow, I did not expect that to blow up. Shoot! Oh wow, that scared the crap out of me. I didn't expect that to blow up. I thought it was gonna, like the other section, allow me to keep going. Yeah, that was not fun at all, but thankfully I got the key. That is actually the hard part, because you'll have to go back through the level again if you miss it, and just for a key, that's not that good. You know, you don't want to go through this level again anyway, but for a key, I definitely don't find that is worth it. Just run along back through here, same pattern, and you'll get to over here. Okay, so I guess there was a ton of bonus round. There's between the first and second tokens, there's such a long gap that, you know, you kind of you almost forget about it, to be honest. Or at least I do. But the second and third tokens are very close to each other, and actually the end is right through this kind of walkway or hallway. And so after we get through this section, through this bonus round, you know, it will be over with. But oh shoot, you have to be careful in that hallway, just because there is a lot of those closing walls. And you want to keep spinning this because there's a life there, but you don't want to keep spinning this because there's a TNT crate there, and you don't want to spin too much anyway because there's a life on top of that, which you can blow up if you're not careful. But yeah, there we go. So, but no, we're not done with the level yet. I keep hoping that we're done with this level because I really don't want to have to redo it. And of course, I would do that off camera. I wouldn't make the video any longer because of that. You want to be very careful running along through these sections. You want to be very close to the platforms once they close so that they can open, but you don't want to go too fast through there so that you get crushed by the second closing blocks. So you have to be very careful about that. But anyway, so got the gem, got the key. I'm happy. That's pretty much the last really hard level that we'll see for a little while. Castle Machinery isn't too bad. It's actually pretty fun. It has a pretty nice secret in it that I'll show off here, which actually can help you if you lose lives. You can see here I do have 85, so I'm not going to get too many, but there are 32 lives in this bunch of lives here. And just so I don't waste any, there we go. So you'll see there, but there is, well, no, I guess there's 28. Yeah, there's 28. If you start out the game brand new, you'll start out with 4 lives. You'll go up there, and you'll gain 28, which will give you 32 lives. So it's very great. You know, if you've beaten the game up to this point and you have the green gem, it's definitely very nice to go up there, gain a few lives, and then you can just, you know, skip the entire level and then just do that. That is very, very useful, and something that I definitely suggest doing if you're under those circumstances. Oh crap! Thought that was a different platform. Do you want to be careful though touching the pipes? Usually you don't have a mask, or at least I don't have a mask usually coming out of Jaws of Darkness. So you definitely want to be very careful to get around those hot pipes. because you'll take damage and you'll die. And now let me see. There's a pretty difficult section that is coming up through here, and I'm just trying to figure out where it is so that I can figure out the strategy to jump through it. These little round platforms will push you up into those hot pipes, so you do want to be careful. As you can see, they get all the way up, so you want to get off of them a lot sooner than that, just because Crash is pretty tall in this game, and you'll sometimes get hit without even expecting to be hit. Now the pattern for the steam vents here will change. They won't all be in A's, from left to right or right to left. They'll actually be, in different sections, and that's one of those grabbers or crawlers, whatever they were called. To me, they look like dogs, and so that's what I thought they were called. And let me see. Thankfully, I haven't gotten to that section just yet. There is nothing up there, so you don't have to worry about that. You want to be careful because that piston will shoot you up into those hot pipes up there. So you don't have a mask, that'll definitely hurt. But if you do have a mask, you don't want to take damage just because as it's actually pretty useful to keep your lives or your masks going through this section, especially if you have two. No matter how hard the level is, you always want to try to keep at least two masks, or how easy the level is, you always want to try to keep at least two masks with you at all times, just because it makes the level a lot easier. Even like with Insanity Island, I'd definitely suggest that. Now, this is the hard section, kind of like the bonus round. And all you have to do is just save that last one so that you can jump up onto it and then get back up onto there. Not that difficult, just getting the pattern right for the and those little things I'm spinning there those are the hollow projectors, by the way, that we'll see in later Crash games. But lost my train of thought. I guess I was talking about the pattern to those boxes. But now, if you run up against those pipes, even the hot ones, as long as you don't touch them, you can kind of feel the game kind of pulling against you while you're trying to jump over them, jump over the pipes, and it kind of feels like you should be touching them. You don't have to worry about that. As long as you don't run into them too early while you're trying to jump over them, and you kind of feel a resistance or a pullback, you don't have to worry about that. You're not actually taking damage or going to take damage, but you don't want to just run blindly into the level. Now, something that I'm going to do differently this time, because here I have 4 levels to go there, and then this level down here that I haven't went to, and I'll go ahead and run down to it really quickly, which is right above Lights Out, Fumbling in the Dark. I will wait to do that level until after I finish part 6, which I will beat the final boss with this, in that video. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the trivia. The high road, again, Hog and Turtle. The high road is the 23rd level in the original Crash Bandicoot. It has slippery platforms and platforms that break. There are many turtles which can be knocked over, so Crash can bounce farther, and is essential for proceeding through the level. In the background of the level, Cortex Island is visible in the same size in the level Road to Nowhere. However, the high road is located on Cortex's Island, and Road to Nowhere is located on the second island. It should be smaller in Road to Nowhere, or it should be closer up in the high road. Box total is 18, so not too many boxes. And they actually say this is supposed to be harder than Road to Nowhere, but as I said, I find high road a lot easier. Now, for Slippery Climb, the enemies are just Bird. I thought it was called Big Bird, Evil Hand, Lab Assistant, Spikes, and the Stairs. The gym color is actually red, and I thought it was pink or whatever. Okay, Slippery Climb in the 24th level of Crash Bandicoot. Some consider it to be the hardest level in the game, taking place on the side of the wall of Cortex Castle. Crash climbs up the difficult wall, facing birds, spikes, potion-throwing lab assistants trained by Brio, moving platforms, stairs, and other objects. There is a Tawna bonus round and a Brio bonus round inside it as well. The pink gem is obtained if all crates are broken without death. Stormy Ascent, a level in a similar style but much harder, was removed before the game came out, which is pretty much the same level design as this level. So that kind of acts as the trivia for this level, but there's best about Stormy Ascent, which I will talk about in the wrap-up video. I won't talk about that right now. See the lights out. Rats and the rat and the swinging blade are the only enemies here. Lights Out is the 25th level in Crash Bandicoot and the 8th level that the player must complete on the 3rd island. It involves Crash sneaking around the dark corridors of Cortex Castle while being aided by an illuminated Aku mask. It is also the first level to introduce the iconic gameplay mechanic that involves Crash traveling through the dark levels with a tiny source of light. Level design Lights Out takes place in the dark corridors of Cortex Castle, possibly the attic portion of the castle. As there is no stable floor or light source available, the corridors of the castle are decorated with many different memorabilia, including shields, chairs, and embroideries with the letter N on them, which line up against the walls of the castle. Along the way, Crash will be using the beams and moving platforms of the attic to maneuver around. The level is filled with traps of all sorts, including swinging blades and falling platforms. The path is also littered with rats and spiders. The whole path Crash will be traversing lacks any source of light. To compensate for this lack of light, he will be using Aku masks to help illuminate his path. These special Aku masks act different from the ones collected in other levels. Crash will be unable to stack Aku masks in this level, so he will be unable to achieve an invincibility. Losing Aku mask means that Crash will be losing a source of light to make up for the high probability of Crash losing his personal source of light due to the traps and enemies scattered around the level. There will be an abundance of masks for him to collect. It's still important that Crash keeps his masks as long as possible to, though, as there are plenty of jumps and enemies lurking in the shadows that could easily cause him to lose his source of light. Trivia: this stage's name is based on an old saying. Mothers everywhere tell their children at bedtime. This level happens to be the shortest level in the game, but is still not the easiest. I can see here the position of where Lights Out is and why that's an attic, or why it kind of looks like an attic. And this is something that I'll talk about, but I'll just mention the level layout for this game was changed in the final version of the game. Really quickly, for Jaws of Darkness, the enemies are bats, closing pillar, flame, snake, spear, and spiders. And so the level designs and don't really match up to where they belong. And I'll talk about that in the wrap-up video. But for now, Jaws of Darkness is the 26th level in Crash Bandicoot. The level takes place under Cortex's castle and is a major death trap for trespassers trying to enter. It is the second and last Ancient Temple level. It is also the second and last stage in the game with the Cortex challenge, Cortex bonus round, and key, which unlocks the secret level Fumbling in the Dark. The blue gem from Toxic Waste is required to clear this stage with its hidden clear gem. It is very difficult to obtain the gem for this level due to the nature of the level and the split pathway. The two split pathways, they don't mention it here, but there are two split pathways. There was no trivia for that level. So for Castle Machinery, the pipe, the hollow projector robot, and steam pipe are the only enemies here. And I forgot to talk about the boxes again. Crap. Okay. Castle Machinery is the 27th level in Crash Bandicoot. It is right before the boss fight against Brio. If the player next to where the level... if the player has obtained the green gem, a secret platform appears right next to where the level begins, taking Crash to a secret area that has 27 extra lives, 28. Preparing you for the forthcoming challenges, there is another platform there that takes Crash to the end of the level. Oddly, this is the only level in the game which has a secret gem route with crates. A secret gem route with crates only in the main route. In fact, taking the full gem route will cause the player to miss all the crates in this level. the floating robots reappear in a different game. This is the only level in the game to have the most lives that are not in any crates. Gym is 24. There is no bonus rounds for this level. And I meant boxes are 24. So we'll go to Jaws of Darkness really quickly. 65 crates, and there's Cortex and Tawna bonus rounds. That might actually be the most number of crates for a level. I'm not 100% sure, though. For Lights Out, it's 15. There are no bonus rounds. Alright. And then, let me see, where was I at next? Slippery Climb, I guess that was the last one that I didn't talk about. 31 for Slippery Climb. So, there you go. So, that's all the trivia and everything. So, thank you for watching. The challenge of the video is how many masks did I collect in Lights Out in the entire level? I thank you for watching. Part 6, we will completely finish Cortex Castle, and then after that, I'll go after all of the gyms that require color gym, secret gym routes. So, until then, later, everyone.